What are the subtle differences between IDM and pro-foundries when they are planning to expand their supply?
So the IDMs are expanding as well as the foundries, but the foundries are expanding in a different way, right? TSMC is being much more tactical about where they expand. Yes, they are going to build 5 nanometer in the USA, and they're going to build 28 nanometer and 16 nanometer and that class of technology in Japan and 28 nanometer in China, but they're not moving any of the new high volume production, right? They're not moving 3 nanometer or 2 nanometer, right? Those are the fabs that they're building currently in Taiwan, are mostly those process technologies, whereas they're building the more older technologies outside. And so the foundries like TSMC have a different strategy, right? And the same applies to GlobalFoundries, right? They're building certain technologies in Europe, but they're keeping the FinFET nodes and the silicon photonics in the US. They're only doing fully depleted silicon on SOI, FDSOI in Europe, and they're doing 45 nanometer, 28 nanometer in Europe. And then if we look at the IDMs, they're very different, right? Samsung, for example, is building capacity in Korea, but then they're also very most likely going to build a very large fab in the US. And that large fab in the US is expected to be their leading edge technology, including their gate-all-around transistors. And with Intel, they have kept all their leading edge within the US and some in Israel and some in Ireland. But with the new subsidies, Samsung is very likely considering to build gate-all-around technology in the US as well as in Korea. And Intel is going to build new gate-all-around fabs in Ohio and in Europe, in Germany. And so the IDMs are willing to ship their advanced technology outside of their home borders, right? With Samsung in South Korea moving to US as well, and Intel in the US moving to Europe as well. Whereas TSMC is keeping all of their advanced 3 nanometer and 2 nanometer and beyond in Taiwan. And GlobalFoundries is keeping their silicon photonics and FinFET in the US. So it's a very big difference in how some of these foundries are treating their build-outs versus the IDMs.
The foundries, especially TSMC and GlobalFoundries, are demanding many prepayments and locked-in supply agreements as they're expanding their supply, especially on advanced and trailing nodes. But with Intel and other IDMs, it's a little bit more difficult, right? They can't have a co-investment with another partner because they're the one footing the bill for the entire fab. And so we've already seen some customers have to pay, GlobalFoundries or TSMC in order to cut back on capacity or delay their capacity to a later date. Whereas Intel, if they have an oversupply, they have to deal with that on their own. So they can't tell Dell or Lenovo, hey, can you pay for the capacity that we built, but we didn't actually run. That's not how their customers work. And so there is a big difference in the dynamics of the demand and the risk involved, where the foundries, at least the tier 1 foundries, are getting prepayments and long-term contracts, while some of the IDMs are taking a higher risk. And likewise, the tier 2 and 3 foundries are also taking high risk because they don't have these locked-in supply deals.